What if I told you that the world you know, the phone in your hand, the clothes you're wearing, the very idea of a career is all built on a single, powerful lie? A lie so deeply embedded in our culture that we don't even see it anymore. It's the silent engine that powers our economies, fuels our ambitions, and defines our sense of progress. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a story about an idea, born in the smoke and steel of the 18th century, that fundamentally rewired human civilization. This story begins with the Industrial Revolution. It wasn't just about steam engines and factories. It was a revolution in thought. For the first time in history, humanity began to believe in a new gospel, the gospel of endless growth. The idea was simple and seductive. We can always have more production, more wealth, more consumption, year after year, decade after decade. This promise of infinite expansion on a finite planet became the central organizing principle of our world. It created immense wealth, sparked technological miracles, and lifted millions out of poverty. But it also came with a hidden cost, a dark side that was conveniently left out of the story. The lie of endless growth created a system where inequality isn't a bug, but a feature. To sustain perpetual growth, you need constant extraction of resources, of labor, of value. This inherently creates a divide between those who own the means of production and those who fuel it. We'll explore how global wealth inequality isn't some unfortunate accident, but a predictable, logical outcome of this foundational belief. We see it in the stark contrast between the glittering skylines of global financial hubs and the struggling communities, where the raw materials for our modern lives are sourced. This wasn't a mistake. It was by design. The system was built to concentrate wealth, creating a cycle where the rich get richer not just by working harder but because the rules of the game are tilted in their favor. But why do we buy into it? The psychology is fascinating. The idea of progress is incredibly alluring. It taps into our deepest desires for a better future for ourselves and our children. We are wired to seek improvement, to move forward. The narrative of endless growth gave us a simple, measurable way to track this progress. GDP, stock market indices, quarterly earnings. These numbers became our gods. We started to equate a rising line on a graph with genuine human well-being. This is the illusion of progress. We've been conditioned to believe that as long as the economy is growing, our lives are getting better, even if our personal stress levels are rising, our communities are fracturing, and the environment is paying a steep price. This psychological hook is so powerful that we often defend the very system that strains our lives, believing there is no alternative. And what about the marvels of our age? The smartphones, the internet, the promise of artificial intelligence. Modern technology is a direct product of this relentless drive for growth. But what is its real cost? Every device we own carries a hidden ledger of environmental degradation and human exploitation. We'll trace the journey of a single smartphone, from the mines in Congo where essential minerals are extracted under brutal conditions, to the factories in Asia where workers face grueling hours, all the way to the mountains of electronic waste piling up in developing nations. Our technological progress is subsidized by environmental destruction and human suffering that we in the developed world rarely have to see. We celebrate the innovation but ignore the true invoice, an invoice that is now coming due. So, what happens when this lie, this 250-year-old foundation, finally begins to crumble? We're already seeing the cracks. Climate change is no longer a distant threat. It's here, in the form of extreme weather, melting glaciers, and rising sea levels. Social and political polarization is intensifying as the promise of shared prosperity rings hollow for more and more people. The very systems designed for stability are now generating instability. The endless growth model is hitting the hard limits of a finite planet, and the social fabric is fraying under the strain of extreme inequality. But the collapse of a lie is not necessarily the end of the world. It can also be a beginning. It's an opportunity to ask fundamental questions we've been avoiding for centuries. What does real progress look like? How can we build an economy that serves human well-being and ecological health, instead of just blind growth? What does a thriving civilization look like if it's not based on having more, but on being more? We look at emerging ideas and alternative models, from circular economies to degrowth movements and community-based initiatives that are planting the seeds of a different future. These aren't just idealistic dreams. They are practical, fact-based alternatives being explored by economists, scientists, and communities around the world who recognize that the old story is over. This journey is about peeling back the layers of the world we've built to understand the lie at its core. It's a deep, cold, fact-based exploration of our modern civilization, from its triumphant rise to its precarious present. If you're tired of the shallow headlines and want to understand the deeper forces shaping our world, then this story is for you. It's time to confront the lie that built the modern world, and in doing so, discover what it might take to build a better, more honest one. Thanks for watching. If this kind of deep dive analysis resonates with you, consider subscribing to the channel for more content that challenges the way we see our world. See you in the next one.